All right. I am not intending to start with the Marshadow deck. I just posted an hour and 20-minute highlight of that on the what's it called channel? On the Hooklandia Pocket channel. So if you want to see the Marshadow duck deck in action, I'd ask that you check that out and give it some engagement. I'm gonna try out some of the other rogue decks that did well in tournaments this weekend. Steel Yoel, thank you for the 5 months. Hey, Mart, if we could stick to English in chat, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. We just don't have moderators for non-English languages, unfortunately. Grab the Twitch chat from the Pocket side. I think we're gonna start with Kabutops Exeggutor. And play a couple of the decks that I wanted to check out from the meta report, and then we might play a couple of brews if those fall short. Pocket Audio is much quieter than Snap. Thanks, Soulgator. Yeah, unfortunately, the tournament I played it is a 2-day thing, and the prizing is nominal, and I have plans with the family tonight, so I actually can't play the single elimination rounds. That's fine. We'll remain undefeated in hearts and minds. Alright, let's do it, shall we? Howdy, Chasm. They can't defeat you if you don't play. For people that missed it, if you want a teaser for what went up on the YouTube side this morning, I brewed this up as a theory craft anti-meta deck over the weekend, and then hopped into a tournament and beat 2 Mewtwo, a Gyarados, a Pikachu, a Celebi, and a Golem on my way to 6-0 double draw into the top 16 cut. Really big brain swap stuff around. Ton of fun. We are going to start with a different deck that placed in tournaments this weekend, though. I want to give this pile of cards a try. Double Exeggutor Kabutops stuff. I did not play against a lot of red cards in the tournament, which is nice. Pokemon Pocket is an infinitely more skill testing game when you're not constantly worried about your opponent shuffling your hand away. Way more skill testing. You weren't lying when you said the Celebi title would do well in the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for being entertaining. Thank you for the super chat support, Destiny. Yeah, the meta report video on the Pocket channel is the first time a video on that channel has hit what I refer to as escape velocity. So the algorithm's actually doing some promoting on it for a change as opposed to burying it like it has most of the rest of the stuff I posted. So it's a nice change. Let's change the deck box image. Egg. A lot of great comments on there. People saying they didn't realize content of that quality was being produced for Pocket. So hopefully we'll have some return viewers on that. Ooh, Exeggutor to start. Lucky. Hold on. Take two, and scene. All right. You think they're going to add extra mechanics in the future, like items before the game starts or extra zones? There is code. Oh, you know what? I built this deck on autopilot. There's not supposed to be Pokeballs in here, I don't think. LOL. I think there's supposed to be Ericas in this deck. I put a few decks together late last night. What a sloppy start to the day. You believe anybody watches this guy? Let me double check. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be Erica in this deck. Yeah, Erica, no Pokeball. That's funny. Yeah, sorry, there's a Poke tool in the filters, so, which is neat. Does Exeggutor work if you don't run Grass Energy? It does, yeah, just like Misty and Brock and stuff. We'll fish them up still. What does a tool do differently from an item or a support? That's a good question. A Poke tool, what's the word I'm searching for? I'm gonna blue here to take 10 less damage to play around Giovanni. A Poke tool attaches to the character. This is the TLDR. It's like an equipment, kind of. Yeah, if you hate losing to the Gyarados Greninja deck, the Marshadow anti-meta deck today with Hitmonlee, embarrassingly easy matchup. End me, Misty. I need to cut these Pokeballs. It's a mercy killing. Pack it up. Pack it in. Let me begin. All right. Apologies for the slop. Let's cut these balls and put the Ericas in. Real first game, chat. The deck list was wrong. My kingdom to be able to assign default flares, eh? Yeah, I cut the second copy of Blue in the meta report for an extra basic. We have an egg. We're missing grass energy on one, but that's fine. We're going second, so we have first energy advantage. It can attach to the fighting. This Exeggutor notably takes 3 colorless for its big psychic attack. There's so much Misty in these queues. Steve. It's kind of weird to me how much some people seem to dislike the Mewtwo decks. Like, the Mewtwo deck is powerful, and it's a little straightforward, but I really don't mind playing against it, generally speaking. You think there's progression in the matchmaking? You get matched based on which emblem you've accomplished. You think so? Yeah, I think especially post Mew EX, Mewtwo is like more than fine. I can literally have the ability to put a card that gives me counterplay in every deck now. Am I saving for this one? Or am I just getting cracking now? Yeah, just getting crack-a-lackin' now. You play TCG Live or the actual print cards? I made content for a little bit on the client that existed before TCG Live, but making content's my full-time job. It's how I feed my kids and put a roof over our heads, and there's not any content metrics for TCG Live. There's not a sustainable source of content income. Fredwick, thank you for the 85 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Sorry, I'm over 30, so if you're a Zoomer, I'm gonna need you to explain to me what exactly makes the what's it called deck cringe. Can you help an old man understand? Why is Mewtwo cringe but Misty is not? That is not the Kabutops I wanted for Christmas, gamers. I suppose Potion plus Blue buys me a turn here if they're missing Giovanni. I guess I also have to be missing Greninja.
Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just need to show you this because I'm so excited about it.
Alright. Oh, that's awesome.
It's her, and like the whole story is like she's there.
It makes
and,
her
like,
a character?
It says, "What's Santa going to do?" Haley asked.
Oh my goodness, chat. Christy is such a good mom. Look at, I'm gonna show you this. It's Haley and the Pups Save Christmas, and that's a cartoon Haley, and it has her name in the story and stuff. She's like,
and her little avatar.
A little blonde girl in the book. That's actually awesome. They didn't have the Giovanni. That's so good for us. We're gonna have to give him the knockout point now. Hopefully, we can find Kabutops next turn. Hopefully we can find Kabutops next turn. I guess we could find the other Exeggutor EX as well. Pog is good, old lady. Okay. Speaking of needing help with the Zoomer lingo. Is Pog good or bad? I think we might be losing.
Pretty cute playmat.
A lot of Pikachus. We can put the Exeggutor up, and technically this could buy us a turn, question mark? This is big, not dead yet energy.
I don't know whatever happened to my Pog collection. Did you have Pogs as a kid?
I did not. I was born in the 90s, not the 80s.
You're an asshole. I was barely born in the 80s, thank you very much, and it was a 90s toy. I had some cool ones. I don't know whatever happened to them. Same thing with my damn Pokemon cards. I had a whole binder of Pokemon cards.
It looks like we unfortunately have died, gamers.
And they just disappeared from my childhood. And I'm...
Do you think Professor is fine? I feel bad if my opponent plays Professor early. And don't you think sublimating cards to one or everything? I think Pokemon Pocket is a game where very clearly all of the deck building is designed around every deck playing 2 copies of Research. I think a card like Professor's Research being in every Pokemon Pocket deck is very different than, say, like, Gataxian Probe being in every Magic deck or Shang-Chi being in every Marvel Snap deck. I think they almost assuredly designed this game with the expectation that Research would be a 2 of in every deck. Do you feel pain when you have to highlight a deck with red card in it? Not at all. Oh my goodness, there are coin flip to end the game. That's hilarious. What an aggro Mankey. Chef Seth, thank you for the 80 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yes, Pokeball and Professor's Research are very clearly cards the game is designed around. Yeah, new Mankey, new Primape's kind of hot. I'm gonna be honest, I glazed over new Mankey. I was aware new Primeape existed, but new Mankey, that's kind of sweet. It's interesting, because new Primeape's pretty good when going first, and new Mankey's kind of good when going second into a lot of things. Blue Flamed Abyss, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. It's really interesting. I hadn't thought about that dynamic of it at all. Our opponent, however, is not a very skilled Mankey player. They should probably consider working on that. I think the only way an effect like Professor's Research becomes problematic is if they print more similar effects and suddenly every deck has 8 or 10 auto-includes as opposed to 3 to 4. Like I said, I think it's very clear that Pocket as a game is balanced around Professor's Research existing. And I think it's not a problem that it goes in most decks, because the game is very clearly balanced and designed for that to be a thing that's going to happen. I think it's too binary to be like, card played everywhere, ergo have to get rid of it. It would be different if it was like a Pokemon played everywhere. That would be problematic. That was not the copy of Giovanni I wanted for Christmas. We'll Erica this, and we'll retreat it back. We'll put Kabutops up. This is bad against Sabrina. But Kabutops might be able to solo from here, honestly. Even if they Sabrina this up, we finish here, and then Kabutops goes toe-to-toe with Primeape, no problem. Yes, I think that the fact that Pokeball and Professor's Research are bought from the shop is indicative of they were intended to be core items. Completely agree. What is the most balanced card game you've ever played? And what do you think about the Pokemon skill versus luck scale? As someone with a lot of card game experience, if I had to boil it down, I would probably say Pokemon Pocket's like 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, and the Misty Flips are definitely 50% pain. I think, memeing aside, I think the most skill-testing card game in existence is whichever one I am currently winning the most at, and whichever card game I'm losing the most at has the most BS variance and is all coin flips. There are not objective reasons or objective measures for measuring skill inside of card games. A lot of this card game is more or less skill testing than this other card game is just people trying to be elitist and egotistical about their preferred card game being better than others. I think the number one thing Pokemon Pocket has shown me is that most people don't understand the variance that goes into the other card games that they play. Pokemon Pocket has a lot of what we refer to as explicit coin flips. There is a coin on your screen, and it's very clear that a 50-50 chance is happening with the coin. Other card games like Magic the Gathering and Marvel Snap have a lot of what we refer to as implicit coin flips. They are percentage odds that are almost exactly or very close to a 50-50, but because there's not a literal coin flipping in front of you, card gamers who want to do mental gymnastics talk themselves out of understanding that a coin flip is happening. In Marvel Snap, a good example of these coin flips are where you're playing your tech card or your stats out on the last turn of the game. Very regularly, it comes down to I play here and my opponent plays here, I win. I play here and my opponent plays here, they win. In Magic the Gathering, the coin flips are twofold. Play versus draw tends to be very skewed in Magic the Gathering. Who gets to play first can often determine the outcome of a match. But another one is your resource variance in Magic. A lot of the time, you keep a 2-land hand on the play, and there's 23 or 24 lands left in your deck. You'll end up having a 40 to 45-ish% chance to draw a land on turn 3, and if you brick that land, you probably lose the game on the spot, and if you hit it, you get to keep playing. And that's an implicit coin flip in Magic on whether or not the game ends there based on whether or not you hit that resource. There isn't a coin flipping in front of you, so it's easy to ignore, but it is effectively a coin flip. Do you play Commander? No, Commander's too expensive for me. For casual games, I play board games. For people who are familiar with my background, I traveled to play Magic the Gathering competitively for almost a decade. Top 8 a bunch of 100 and 1,000 player tournaments. That doesn't really make any money. It was a hobby while I was in grad school and then working after grad school. And then making videos here on the internet actually pays for me and my family to live, so we don't really travel to play much anymore. Which is actually why I've really been enjoying Pocket. Getting to play competitive Pocket tournaments from my home has been really fun. I love competing in card games. And Pocket's been great. Board games like Arkham Horror. No, Arkham Horror is way too chunky. The people I play board games with are a mix of like competitive gamers that like used to travel to play Magic with me in tournaments, and then like our significant others and other friends from like work and stuff and other things. So a lot of the games we play are what are they, like light resource management, sometimes drafting games. You want a healthy bit of variance in the board games, so that way the people that are more like competitive min-maxers don't just like automatically win everything, because that's boring. Speaking of boring, adverts aren't exciting, but they pay the bills. We're gonna try a little bit more of this Exeggutor Kaboot Top Deck when we go back, but so far it seems kinda poopy. We'll see you in 120 seconds. Thanks for hanging out, gamers. Don't go anywhere. Deck building in Pokemon is way more consistent. Deck building in Pokemon is way more consistent than in Magic. It is, yes. Magic decks tend to be very high variance. Magic, as someone who played Magic competitively for years and casually for years past that, Magic is probably the highest variance card game I've ever played. The resource system in Magic is just absurd amounts of variance. And that's not to say there's no skill, but it is easily the least agency. I've not done Terraforming Mars. I think this eggs deck is very mid. There's a very good chance it's very mid. One good tournament result does not a good deck make. That's why I like to pick out the ones that put a result and play some games with it so I can get a better opinion on them. I wish Pocket had more viable cards like the regular game. It seems filled with cards that are just wasted space. I think Pocket has an incredible number of viable cards. You're right that by design it has a lot of cards that are not competitive in our pack builder, but that's just the nature of a beast where booster packs are involved. Every booster pack game has lots of bad cards by design. They need bricks. Without bad cards, the good cards won't be exciting. You have to have bricks in your gambling. The lows have to exist for the highs to feel high. Is that why Hulkling and Kang exist? No, Marvel Snap's actually the opposite. Marvel Snap's a game that doesn't have pack filler in it. It's one of the things that's innovative about it. And it's also worth noting that Marvel Snap's lack of pack filler is part of why the economy feels so bad to so many people. Individual cards in Marvel Snap tend to be valued / priced high because they can't just give you a lot of cards if every card's a relevant game piece. Whereas Pocket can give you, 2.5 booster packs a day. Because most of the cards in those booster packs you're opening suck. I think this is evolve into the EX, put a fighting energy on here, because we have grass on top. I would have had to pause if there was other fighting energy, but because we have one of each here, I think we just do this and pass back. Pocket viable on PC. You can play it on an emulator. That's what I'm playing on right now. Runs fine. So I'm actually going to Erica this Exeggutor, which I'm losing 10 points of value on this. But the reason why I'm Erica-ing here is because if I flip Tails here and they X-Speed plus Lieutenant Surge, they could clear my Exeggutor. I'm playing around X-Speed Lieutenant Surge here alongside my Tails because they are likely on 2 X-Speed, 2 Surge in their deck. So it's pretty realistic that they have both of them. So, a lot of people want to compare Pocket and Snap's economies because they're the 2 card games that they play, which is fair. But as someone who plays both and has run the numbers on both, I think a lot of people are really unfair in how they assess Snap versus Pocket. And that's not to say that Snap is perfect or that Pocket is perfect, but Marvel Snap's 2.5 years into its releases, right? I want you to imagine someone starting Pokemon Pocket a year and a half from now. A year and a half from now, we'll have 3 more big sets and 3 more little sets. Maybe more than that, maybe four more of each. Like imagine starting from nothing. Like Pocket feels very friendly and approachable right now because you're starting at the base level. You're starting with the least amount of stuff available possible to you. Pokemon Pocket, and whether or not its economy is reasonable or awful, is going to 100% live or die based on whether or not trading keeps it sustainable and reasonable. I mean, and it's not even gonna take a year from now, right? I want you to imagine a new player coming into Pokemon Pocket even 2 sets from now, 1 big set and 1 more small set. And imagine there's a tier 1 deck that uses 2 different EX Pokemon from 3 different booster packs. Think about that. How difficult or hard will it be to complete those things as a free-to-play player, you think? Probably pretty freaking hard, yeah? Am I putting the Kabutops up? I think I'm putting the Kabutops up. If they're surging onto Raichu this turn and clearing this, I think we're winning that game. It depends. They could do Wonder Pick events to get Staples 1%. Sure, yeah, they could do Wonder Pick events. You're right. But that doesn't guarantee that they will. Hey, baby, I'm glad you enjoyed the overlay. I think maximizing the amount of screen real estate that shows you the actual gameplay is ideal. Maybe I was supposed to just blue here, actually. Just accept we get torched by Giovanni. I just want you to know, person who I banned, who came in here to make fun of my speech pattern, that I had a speech impediment as a child, and the way that I speak is a result of speech therapy that helped me overcome that. And when you go out into the world and encounter lots of different people who are going to talk and look and speak and present themselves in lots of different ways, and you choose to be an absolute jagoff, you don't know what that person's life and lived experience is like, and you're just being a piece of shit. So maybe learn to accept that people are going to be different than you and look and talk and speak in lots of different ways. Oh, the lack of fighting energy here is tough. In fact, the #1 way I can always tell my content is reaching new people is I have to sift through a giant, massive pile of people ridiculing me for the way that I speak. It's always pleasant. Let's use that word. This might be our last go with this this pile of cards. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere, Silence. I mean, if I went back in time and told Kid Jeff, who's having trouble with speech, that someday he's gonna make a living talking at a camera 8 hours a day, he'd probably wouldn't believe that. Doing very all right, to say the least. Yeah, blue stops Giovanni from tagging us this turn, which is nice. Get to guaranteed survive. Who would have thought you meant on TV? That's true, that's fair. For people who are saying you can't hear a difference, there is definitely a difference in the way I speak compared to the way a number of other people speak. I enunciate my words very clearly, but one of the results of that is the fact that I put emphasis on different parts of the word, different parts of different words that people are happy to ridicule for. You know, maybe I should have. I think I messed up here. I think I was supposed to switch back to this Exeggutor, so that way they couldn't clear this with the Peck on the Zapdos. But its opponents navigated this game pretty well. Our energies were a little awkward, but the opponents made pretty good choices. That being said, if they low roll even a little bit on their Zapdos flips, we're good to go here. Oh, we're just into the Surge at this point. Yeah. Because I didn't switch the Exeggutor, yeah? If I would have switched the Exeggutor so they couldn't get the knockout here, that wouldn't have been an option. Opponent played that game really well. I actually am happy it's looking like Pikachu's gonna be one of the top decks right now. Because I think the play patterns and skill expression in the Pikachu deck is much higher than decks like Mewtwo and Celebi and others. The decks where you have to constantly consider like retreating around and stuff. Add a lot more outplay potential and maneuverability. I like them a lot. Shout out to the 82 people who like the stream on the YouTube side. There's 282 of you in there, so we can get that number up a little bit more. I believe. Push the button. J Turbo Banana, speaking of pushing buttons, thanks for the almost 3 years. Welcome back. So this is a Primeape Aerodactyl EX deck that put up a result in one of the tournaments this weekend. Looking sweet and wanted to give it a try. I absolutely love all of the full art Mews. They're gorgeous. I think Celebi Mew has skill expression because you have to think about resource management rather than putting everything on Celebi. Every deck in Pokemon Pocket has resource management decisions. The resource management aspect of Pokemon Pocket is literally key to the game. If I draw an Aerodactyl EX, we're in an incredible spot. Instead, we bricked. Edge. I guess I'm powering this up for now, but not excited about it. Just got my 50th win with your 8 basics Marshadow brew. Loving the deck. Yep. It's got so much. Speaking of decks that retreat a lot and get to maneuver around, that deck is so slick. Speaking of slick and how great the full arts are in this game, holy. What a just actual piece of art. Stunning. X-speed this Mew out. 8 basics Marshadow brew. If you're just joining us, I went 6-0 undefeated in a tournament last night with a brand new deck. 8 basic Marshadow Hitmonlee Far-Fetched Amalgamation. 5. The best 5 matches from my tournament run are up on the YouTube side now. It's an hour and 20-minute video. Really showcases both the skill expression while playing the game that's possible and the amount of deck building that this game allows for. Radioactive Clown, thank you for the 16 months. Welcome back. Double potion here's a little unfortunate. This Giovanni doesn't matter though. Oh, the Giovanni matters now. Sad. I'm just clearing the Staryu here, yes? And then I'll Land Crush, pick up a knockout. They'll hit us with Blizzard, and then I'll Potion plus Blue and hit them for 80 back, and then they can't clear us, and we'll pick up the win afterwards. That seems good. Seems good. Does Lumion do weakness to bench Pokemon? It does not. None of the things that attack bench Pokemon do weakness to bench. Next turn, we're gonna, if we don't draw Aerodactyl, we're gonna discard this old Amber so they can't Sabrina it up. Get the win that way. So blue looking better than an extra, well, we hit the potion too, so that helps. I was gonna say blue acting as our extra potion here to blunt some damage is nice. And again, we're discarding this Amber so they can't Sabrina it up. Our deck likely plays 2 of those. I'm gonna blue here as well. Da-ba-dee-da-ba-die. 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 Hi. Actually, was I supposed to Giovanni this turn? It actually might have been right to Giovanni there, so that way they go down to 10. So if they retreat back to the bench, I could still... No, I guess I can't Blizzard if they retreat back to the bench. If they get second Articuno, I should have Giovanni'd. Because their Giovanni wasn't killing us through the 2 potions anyways. So yeah, we won the game here, but I made a small mistake. I should have Giovanni that turn to play around them drawing Articuno and then switching up to a new one. Noteworthy to call out. What does blue do? Blue makes you take 10 less damage from all opponent attacks the following turn. It does block Blizzard Splash, yep. The time frame for trading is just January, unfortunately, yep. The next set is Data Mine to be dropping at the end of January. Mankey looking a little bit awkward here when going first for sure. If they put an energy on this next turn, we can't hit them with Mankey. I played the Hitmonlee Druid, Marshadow, Golem, Dreadodon. Golem deck, it feels powerful. The YouTube content mill is definitely pushing the Golem deck really hard. Well, I'm gonna say here's an asterisk. It's a small sample size. I will point out that our first 200-ish player tournament after that Golem deck won the thing that it won, made it look not impressive. Had really, really bad stats. Oh. This matchup seems not good when they have first energy advantage. Maybe we just like power up our Mew and hope to correct our Celebi in one. I think there's a very real chance my updated meta report after next weekend is gonna have a repeat of Celebi sucks only with Golem. I think it's a very, very real possibility based on early stats of that deck. What's my out here? I think my out is put this up and then put an energy on here. Am I gonna play the Golem deck later just to try deck? Probably not. Generally speaking, I try not to post the same video that 1,200 other people have posted. So from a content perspective, there's not a lot of incentive to do that. I'd rather wait for tournament results. Maybe if it has another good week, we'll do that. Is trading coming at the beginning or end of January? We do not know the answer to that question. Blue and Giovanni don't matter here. I'm gonna go ahead and discard this old Amber to play around to Sabrina. We're gonna high roll him with genome hacking here and end the game. Unlucky. I can't believe people play this Celebi deck. Imagine doing that in a tournament. Can you believe people are selling this deck as good? It's wild. The Celebi deck is a deck that makes for a good YouTube highlight, though. You just, like, clip out all the games where you flipped 4 tails in a row and only post the ones where you got people. How does the board background get chosen? Each player has their own game board assigned to their deck, and it alternates back and forth between game boards for the players. When you see the dark black one like my sleeve, that's mine. It's nice and clean and simple. Just like IRL, we gotta bring our own sleeves and play mats. It's true, you know. Alright, well, we cleared the Drudden 2 here. Crockett, thank you for the 5 years. Such a long time. Welcome back. Technically, Leaf Frogadair here could clear our Mankey. This deck also seems like it's incredibly suspect. Primeape does not seem like it, chat. Maybe we'll brew with this card today, but this does not seem like an ideal pairing. Alright, good Pidgeot EX deck. I think the Pidgeot EX core is pretty well known. Chuki! With the 10 gifted subs, triggering that bonus Twitch. Shout out to Valorant for adding 6 bonus gifted subs to Chuki's 10. Appreciate that generosity at the end of the year. Thank you. For every 5 gifted subs you do on any Twitch channel between now and I think the end of the year, for next little bit at least, they're adding at least 1 more with a chance to get random extras, like Chuki triggered 4 extras with that. Lagarp, thank you for the 5.5 years. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Average Bear! With the 10 gifted hitting 2 bonus extras on top of that. Lucky gamers. Thank you for that. I would just like to take a quick moment to say, while I'm incredibly appreciative of the support, I would always remind people that when you're supporting on this stream or any other stream, you should make sure any money that you're sending is money that you have to give. I would feel truly bad if someone was put out or put in a bad financial position personally from supporting my stuff. So if you're someone in a fortunate position to wail on, gamers. But make sure you do so responsibly here and in pocket. It's one of the reasons why you won't see things like hype trains ever happen on my Twitch channel. Hype trains are a deeply predatory Twitch practice to encourage people to spend money they probably don't have to spend. So they are a feature I very explicitly have disabled. Am I powering up this or am I working towards Mew ASAP? If this is a Gyarados, I probably would rather have Mew. I can't promise being responsible in Pocket. Listen, gamers, as someone who spends plenty of money personally on games like Pocket, if you have money to spend, it's perfectly fine to spend your money on things that bring you joy. Just make sure you're doing it responsibly and it's out of your entertainment budget. Ooh, that's a baby Gyarados. Huh? I think baby Gyarados means we're putting Aerodactyl EX in for sure. What's my plan for Christmas? I will not be live on Christmas Day. I'll be live every other day this week. How long we're live for on the other days will vary a little bit. I plan to do at least four hours or so, but I'm gonna kind of play it by ear based on what viewer counts look like. If numbers are good, I'll stream longer. If they're kind of mediocre, I'll stream less and spend more time with the fam. This job has a lot of benefits to it, but predictability and what income and numbers are gonna look like is not one of them, so around times like this where numbers could potentially be worse, I mostly play it by ear. The Pidgeot EX core is well known. What's your preferred deck? I don't think it's clear between the Weezing build or the Drudagon lead, which is better for Pidgeot right now. There's a highlight with the Drudagon build on my YouTube side. Make a better Golem deck to show people. I mean, just because the Drudagon Golem deck has kind of mediocre stats doesn't mean there's a better way to build it. Card might just be bad, gamers. Percival, thank you for the 19 months. Welcome back. I reviewed the Golem deck that won the weekly tournament in my meta report that's linked above the chat. But something to be aware of, after winning that tournament, there's been other subsequent tournaments where the Golem's deck performance has not looked particularly enticing. Mather Mage, thank you for the 19 months. Appreciate that. Welcome back. I don't know that we're winning from here. I already have one knockout point. If our Greninja is shy, we have a chance. Yeah, maybe. That is an incredible draw. You get to snag a knockout point here, and then one more knockout point will do it. I've been looking for a Marshadow deck, and I'm currently 5-0 with your tournament deck. As someone who likes to temper expectations with brews a lot, because I'm realistic about their power level, I think there's a really good chance that that Marshadow deck that I featured today could be a real meta contender. It ticks all the right boxes and has all the right tools you want to have. I think Gyarados decks would be adding blue to counter Hitmonlee. Yeah, maybe. If you haven't seen it yet, it was the highlight this morning on the Hoaglandia Pocket channel. I'm not going to play more of it on stream. I want to work on other decks. So I'm going to shill the YouTube video if you want to check that out. All right, so we're going to go ahead and blue dabba-dee-dabba-die here, which is notably better than Potion in this instance, because if I had Potion, my Aerodactyl would be dead next turn to Gyarados plus Greninja. But because I have blue, Gyarados plus Greninja only deal a total of 110 here. Oh, was Mew Giovanni lethal? It totally was. Good catch. I was so excited for my blue to be useful, I missed it. Good catch. Yo, that's actually a good call-out, Green Ranger. The fighting deck is definitely big. Big Death and Texas energy. What's my mascot Pokemon? Alolan Sandshrew is my favorite Pokemon of all time. That's why he's in this little banner down here, despite not being in pocket. Man, I want to brew with Aerodactyl a little bit to see if we can make something work, but Primate felt really stinky. All right, we gotta take a brief pause for the cause and roll some ads. I think I might shove the Marowak package in here and play around with that a little bit. I like the idea of being mostly in on EXs. I'm gonna go ahead and take a brief break while we get that sorted. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna be testing lots of decks out today. Yeah, 90 HP is not a lot. It is accurate. How do I want to split my Marowaks? Do I want to favor 2 in terms of the Bone Beatdown, or do I want to favor 2 in terms of Marowak EX? I feel like I want to hedge this one because he's good on the play. It's not about coin flips versus not flips, chat. You're thinking about it all wrong. The question is about, do I want more attackers that are good when going first or good when going second? And Aerodactyl's kind of good when going first. That's another good point, though. Hedging the EX could be better because our deck's already heavy on EXs, and making them knock out 2 EXs has value. The question I kind of have to ask myself is, how often do I think I'm going to make my opponent clear 2 single-point Pokemon versus make them clear an EX and then another EX? Green Ranger, thanks for re-upping that primer. Yeah, I'm definitely playing more than 2 Marowak. I just don't think I can play all 4. And it's a question of would I rather hedge EXs or hedge non-EXs? I think I'd rather hedge EXs. I kind of want to squeeze a Hitmonlee in here too, just because it's so good into the Gyarados matchup. It's like fine into Pikachu and other stuff. I think if you're a fighting deck, you should probably have 1 Hitmonlee in your 20 somewhere. Flaming Swag, thank you for the 24 months. Especially because I bet this deck's Gyarados matchup is kind of mid. Hitmon can win it outright for you. I think we lose the blue. Take the Psychic Energy out of my deck, Ralph Wiggum. I love that you use the flare. I feel like too few people use it. I love shinies in these types of games. I think we Pokeball first here because I want the best chance to draw a fossil with this research with the Aerodactyl queued up. Be shocked. I keep seeing people speculating on Stardust being used for trading, but based on how everything else works in the economy of this game, I'm assuming if trading requires a currency, it's gonna be another new currency. Like once you're 40 currencies deep, what's a 41st? Body Hightower, thanks for the over 4 years. Welcome back. And past the obvious predatory reasons to have lots of currencies because it makes it confusing and obfuscates things, I think having unique currencies for everything has value because it makes it easier to min-max. One of the things you see a lot in Marvel Snap is decision paralysis around, well, am I supposed to spend this currency on this, that, or the other thing? Whereas in Pokemon Pocket, it's generally right to tell people just spend your stuff because it only gets used for one thing. Could you imagine all of the hemming and hawing people would do if you had to use the same resource to open packs as you did Wonder Pick? Would add a lot of min-maxing stress to the game for people. Hey, look, chat. The card I really wanted after they red carded me was X Speed, and they red carded away my X Speed, and I redrew the X Speed. Who could have possibly seen this outcome coming? Only absolutely everyone who has a basic understanding of statistics. If you haven't had a chance to see it, you should watch my video talking about the math behind red card that runs through why statistically it's a very mediocre Pokemon Pocket card that you should not be running. Thoughts be on giving bonus pack points from the premium pass? I mean, they kind of already do that, right? They give you an extra pack every day, which is extra pack points. I think is the best way to beat the Dirty Index. Playing the Hitmonlee deck I posted this morning. Really good anti-meta deck. Bye, Felicia. Play more basic Pokemon. Yeah, a game like that wasn't particularly exciting because their draw was bad, but it might still make a highlight video just because we got a chance to make fun of red card in it. Like, imagine if their red card had been another Pokemon line. What's the best non-EX deck right now? So that depends. Are you asking for the best non-EX deck for the purely non-EX format? Or are you asking for playing the regular game but without EX Pokemon? Those are two different meta games, right? Yeah, I like the Bullfrog deck I posted on Saturday a lot. For the regular meta game as a non-EX deck. I think you could also very easily play the Marshadow deck I posted today, but cut the Mew for something else, like a second Tauros if you didn't have it or really wanted to play non-EX. But the Marshadow deck I posted only has one EX in it. It's just Mew for utility. Oh, I shouldn't have thanked them. They wasted my time. It's interesting, playing private matches counted towards the 50 wins for Stardust, so I played a bunch of tournaments over the weekend, so I actually have the 50 wins worth of Stardust, but it didn't count towards the 45 win cosmetic emblem. You have to get that from playing in the actual queue. So I'm done with the Stardust reward. This is actually really smart on their part. They elected to not play their bench Pokemon out against a fighting deck, because we could be a Hitmonlee deck, and we are. Oh man, Chatot? So they are all in. So if we hit our Hitmonlee next turn, they can't win the game. Honestly, it could be right to just have 2 Hitmonlee in every fighting deck right now. Just because having it on curve gives you an auto win against these Gyarados decks. Hitting only average here against the Drudagon might just be too slow in general. Although putting an energy on here would imply that they don't have the Gyarados yet. Oh, you know, I actually should have evolved this, I think, to get my hand smaller for the Mimic. Yeah. Yeah, I punted. They're gonna get an extra card out of this now. Them bricking on the Gyarados gives me one more turn to draw the Hitmonlee, though. Got one of those and a Pokeball. And a research as well. The only basics in my deck right now are 1 Mew and 1 Hitmonlee, so the Pokeball is 50% to be a Hitmonlee. Unlucky. I think we're just dead to the Gyarados at this point. They're pretty likely to have it. They drew 4 cards because I gave them an extra one. Is it true you were paid to spread anti-red card propaganda? I saw a hit piece on IGN and wanted to ask you personally. I genuinely am so injured by the internet, I can't tell if that's facetious or not. I hope there's actually an IGN piece. Yeah, me too, honestly. Red card has me in their pocket. Their Pokemon pocket. So they haven't played any copies of Leaf yet. Do they have room for it in their Chatot build? Probably. Our hope here is that they don't have Leaf or X Speed next turn, and that I get to stretch kick this twice, and then Mew can come up and finish it. But obviously if they... Well, I guess if they have it this turn, I could also flip 2 heads on Marowak and be okay, yeah? Okay. So we're gonna be down to a 25%er then? I mean, they don't have any points, right? So this doesn't matter. Alright, say Gyarados to the bone zone, huh? Rats. You know, honestly, I'm gonna cut this other Marowak and play 2 Hitmonlee. I think the card's too good. Steric, if I would have taken the knockout on the Magikarp, they simply wouldn't have Sabrina'd me and they would have just knocked out the Hitmonlee, and I didn't have a second Hitmonlee. Do you only play trading card games? I only play card games on stream, generally. I am largely a one-game streamer, so my metrics for non-card games aren't good. Play non-card games off-stream, though. Hitmonlee's a pretty generically solid card, so hedging in general seems fine. I kind of want second Sabrina when I go up to second Hitmonlee. Is Geo helping me hit any big breakpoints? I guess it's good into Mewtwo after they potion, but a lot of Mewtwo decks have been cutting potion. I'm gonna put the second Sabrina in. I could forego my potion, I suppose. Is my potion good? Yeah, I'm gonna keep the potion rather than the Geo, I think. Let's get rid of the psychic energy here. 170 on Pidgeot EX. I don't think that's something I'm concerned with. You planning on pulling for the new characters in 5-3 Genshin? Yeah, I might do both of them, actually. I haven't pulled on my account for a little bit, so I'm sitting on like 30,000 primos. And my account is a stark lack of pyro characters, which made some of the imagination theaters hard. Definitely pulling on the Archon. This is a matchup where Hitmonlee is not very good. Ooh, you know what would be good, though? If I draw Aerodactyl, they won't be able to evolve the Exeggutor while it's active. Would be insane. Do I want to play another bench Pokemon out? I don't think so. Two Aerodactyls, one research, like 20-ish%. That's true. Leaving my hand big to incentivize them to red card me is actually the big brain play. Since we needed that. Feels real good, gamers. I'm gonna go ahead and just start putting damage on the Celebi here. Nearing a month since I started playing Genshin, I've been enjoying it. Genshin Impact is genuinely a very good open world RPG. It's my most played off-stream game. Hashtag not sponsored, but could be. Please give me money, Hoyo. I promise to give it back to you. New Abyss has been tough. I think this Abyss will be the first time I don't 36-star the Abyss in a little while. Yes, Aerodactyl only works on active Pokemon, is accurate. It's unfortunate that I don't have Sabrina here, because I would really like to stretch kick the Celebi again. You know, maybe I was supposed to put this other Hitmonlee out, so that way when they knock this out, I put this one up and clear the egg, potentially. Yeah, I think it was a mistake not to play the other Hitmonlee. Might X speed into it to fix that. That's appealing though. Now I just mark damage on the Celebi, yeah? Well, this is why there's 2 Sabrinas in our build. Can Sabrina for it doesn't matter with the Sabrina. I just want them to put anything up so I can kick the Celebi. So I want to basically put the Celebi to a spot where it gets cleaned and won by a deal 80. Is the game plan here. We're gonna make the damage disappear with Erica. I mean, they haven't Erica'd yet, so I'm gonna play like they don't have it. If you always make plays assuming your opponent's gonna have their best possible cards, you're probably never gonna win anything. Sometimes you have to hope they're not there. If they happen to have the Erica, I still need double heads anyways, and I need double heads if I don't hit it. So if they have Erica, I'm right back into the same spot I was before. And if they don't have Erica, I played to only need 1 heads, which is ideal. So now, they didn't have Erica, and now because I played the way that I did, I'm gonna go ahead and be able to knock this out with average variance. Speaking of average variance. We could miss, and then they could high roll us. Oh man, I hate that Marowak EX is a card that feels like you gotta play. It's so poop. I hate that it feels like it's optimal. They top deck their superior. Rip. There was a line where we stretch and then power up the Aerodactyl. Yeah, but that line gives them draw steps to draw Erica. Obviously very dead here. There were 11 cards in their deck. Why did Aerodactyl EX? The Aerodactyl didn't have an energy on it. I couldn't attack with the gamer. There's no way to build this deck without what's his name, right? Can I build it as a Machamp deck? Can I play Machamp Aerodactyl? What if we did that? Is that real life? And then what if we play 2 copies of Leaf over the X speeds? Dude, what if we do that? I hate the look of that. So let's just rename the deck to this, because that's really what it is. One thing, two comments that have been really funny to me is I've had a lot of people in the YouTube comments assert that Celebi is only underperforming in tournaments because people are playing counter meta into it. And unironically, every single time I've asked someone to explain to me what people are doing to counter meta Celebi, they literally can't give me specifics. Like, playing good cards. Yeah, that's like basically what it came down to. You think they're countering them because they're just choosing to play good cards? They're countering it with Raichu and Arcanine. Ah, yes. Pikachu EX Raichu. That deck that literally didn't exist before Celebi was printed. Cards that only became meta-relevant because Celebi now exists. This is my point. This is my point. Your deck losing to commonly played existing good decks doesn't mean people are countering you. It means your deck sucked crap from the start and you just don't understand that. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Pikachu Raichu is the less popular Pika deck. It is, but it's always been one of the better performing ones, so it's really good in the mirror. It's a little bit worse into Mewtwo, though. Machoke getting to scramble these eggs with this Leaf is really... Leaf is such a big upgrade for Machamp, holy. That's so dirty. Alright, deck, I would like one Machampion, please. You know anything with Lumion yet? I O2'd a tournament with Lumion Starmie Saturday morning. I do not think water Pokemon are playable into Pikachu. I don't think you can fix it, unfortunately. Thank you for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Speaking of metagaming Celebi, there is a small chance that this deck should be playing... There's a small chance that this deck should be playing Giovanni in part so Machamp can one-shot Celebi. But even that, like, Giovanni's a pretty generically alright card. It wouldn't be like, okay, I'm making big changes only for Celebi. People have every right to feel Celebi is unfair because it has 130 HP, scales, it has a 1 energy retreat cost. I want to make it very clear, gamer who is now banned from ever commenting on my stuff again. When I'm talking about Celebi not being good, I don't care about your feelings. You're entitled to feel however you want about the card. If you feel something is unfair, more power to you. Go ahead and continue to feel that way. I can't logic or reason with your feelings, and I'm not about to try. I am simply acknowledging the reality that Celebi is poor performing despite lots of hype about it. It is an exact repeat of Misty, Starmie, Articuno from last season. Last season, people constantly commented on my meta reports. Why are you ignoring Misty Articuno? It's really good. Why are you ignoring Misty Articuno? It's really good. And the reason why my tournament meta reports never talked about Misty Articuno was because that deck got completely smashed in every tournament. It was not consistent and it was not good, but it was popular in these random queues and it felt bad to lose to, so people were mad at it. And it's okay to be like, I don't like the play patterns of Celebi, I don't like the play patterns of Misty, I would be happier if I didn't play against those cards. I think it is perfectly reasonable and valid to acknowledge something isn't fun for you and that you would enjoy the game more if you didn't have to play against it. However, talking about how it's not fun for you is very different than being like, okay, this thing is too strong. When I'm talking about the power level and positions of things in a game, I'm talking about how strong it is, not how people feel about it. And saying, Jeff, I don't care about your facts, this is how I feel, isn't something I want to engage with. That's not useful or constructive. Nothing helpful happens as a result of that. Now I kind of got to decide, am I clearing this with the Machamp? Probably not. Oh, well, now I have backup Machamp, so it's fine. If I didn't draw the backup Machamp, I probably would have put an energy on this or retreated it and knocked this out with Machoke, but now we could just Mega Punch, then have another Mega Punch ready to go. Yeah, our lines here are different if I don't draw the backup, but drawing the backup, this is fine. Good little onion beater game, speaking of Celebi. Probably beater. I guess they could high roll on this Machamp and have their second Erica is possible. Oh, yeah, the Hitmonlee clears the Petlily too. Yeah. Oh, I also have Sabrina. Even if they clear this and have an Erica, the Sabrina clears this. I'm at 2 points. Right, we're good to go. 0% to lose. They would need like a Mew EX that could go on the bench and survive a hit from Sabrina. They need two Pokemon that can live Machamp here, which is unlikely. Can't lose has been declared. Figure it out, opponent. Hey, thanks for hanging out, Jason. All right, there's Celebi. Do we have an Erica? They do not. I also just failed to clear this one. Average Celebi gameplay experience. Good game to have happening while people were talking about their feelings rather than the facts. I saw a Pokemon Pocket tier list over the weekend that had Celebi listed as SS tier and had Dragonite in the same tier as the Koga deck. And like, I'd seen some misrepresented content for this game in the 3 months it's been out, but that might actually have been the most heinous piece of misrepresentation of what was going on in Pocket that I'd ever seen. What data is that based on? Feelings? Alright, I want to play some more with this, but we need to take a pause for the cause and run some adverts. I'm going to run to the restroom. We'll see you in 120 seconds. We're going to play some more of this when we get back. Thanks for hanging out. Sounds more like incompetence than dishonesty. I mean, I'm sure they believed it, but that doesn't mean it's not misleading. Why it's misleading doesn't matter. Lying or whatever. The end result for people making decisions based on it's the same. Beer. Hey, Math Teacher Gaming. Thank you for the 5 years. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Are there any updates on a Dragonite deck? Yeah, if you look on my YouTube channel, I had 10 decks for the start of the season or whatever. Day 1, and there's an updated Dirtian Dragonite deck in there. I think it's the least bad version of Dragonite, but it's still not good. Cowboy Exquisite. Thank you for the almost 4 years. Welcome back. Good afternoon. Z808, thank you for the 21 months. Does this deck work without Aerodactyl? If yes, what would you use? Yeah, you could probably play Cubone Marowak. Although Aerodactyl would be insane here. Aerodactyl would lock them out of being able to evolve this into Starmie, which would be game-winning. We have three draws at our 2 Aerodactyls next turn. None of our friends in the top 11. Ooh, they don't have it yet. Oh my goodness, the game is over if we draw it, gamers. We clear this fish, and then they can't evolve this one. I are both so unlucky. Maybe I'm just supposed to hope they brick on it this turn and just take a knockout and a knockout. This might be a little too conservative. They'd lose on the spot if they drew the Starmie, though. I like how Aerodactyl got the MVP there anyways. The game's just like, yeah, I knew this would be good, so I'm gonna show it to you. Our deck actually isn't terrible against Mewtwo if we hit the Machamp line on curve going second. So we need to go Knuckle Punch into Machoke into Machamp and like deal a lot of damage, right? Boop, boop, boop on up. Snoot, Boop, and Boogie. My favorite deck to play, the Marshadow Brew. I 6-0'd the tournament with last night. It's definitely the sweetest deck I've ever played in Pokemon Pocket. It's real slick. I'm playing this out because I want to make red carding me not look appealing, yeah? Because I like my hands. Aerodactyl only stops their active Pokemon from evolving, so their bench can still come up here, gamers. This card would be very playable if it stopped everything everywhere from evolving. It would be super toxic and good. Two Machampions and a research and 9 cards. Yes, Aerodactyl prevents evolving while he's on the bench, is accurate. If they don't play a Krylia this turn, the Aerodactyl just clears the Mew next turn, the Mewtwo next turn. Aerodactyl would be a more powerful card if it stopped bench evolutions, yes. We're X-speeding here? Really? Yeah, I think on that play, we're probably done here. Because with the Machamp draw here, I get to clear this turn, and then Machamp is good to go to clear this Mewtwo out, so they can't just put it up, and Aerodactyl is gonna get to wreak havoc, and they can't switch to their finisher. They would have to like build up a second Mewtwo at full, and Aerodactyl's gonna clean them out before that happens. I'll play this out now so we don't randomly get red carded. Push this Ralts. We done here, gamer? Choose a Pokemon to switch in. My statement stands. We done here, gamer? I think Mew EX Gap is exactly the tool Pocket's meta needed to be really good. Having counterplay into Charizard and Mewtwo for any deck was what we were lacking. As someone who was brewing a lot of decks last season, I felt like I could build a lot of decks that were competitive into Pikachu, but you just died to Charizard unless their deck didn't work. And having Mew EX be a tool you could reach for in your tool bag to like... The Marshadow deck's a good example of that, right? Like the one I played yesterday, like that deck would never beat Charizard in a million years. But because it gets to play Mew EX, it wins the games where it has Mew EX against Charizard. Is C2 viable in Marvel Snap? They changed Storm to a 4/5 and Cerebro 2 is the worst it's ever been. It's really sad. Thank you for the 25 months, Adam. Appreciate the over 2 years. Welcome back. Appreciate everybody hanging out today, by the way. A little Twitch tracker here. So we've had almost 50 new followers today on the Twitch side. If you're someone dropping by for the first time and you're enjoying the vibes, experimenting with new stuff, be sure you tap the follow button and come back again. You'll typically find me here Monday through Friday during the week playing a bunch of Pokemon Pocket. If you're not familiar with me, my name's Jeff Hoagland. I've been streaming full-time here on Twitch for 8 years, but on the platform for over a decade. I'm something of a relic here. Before Pokemon Pocket, I played Marvel Snap, Magic the Gathering, Runeterra, and a bunch of other digital card and strategy games. You'll find my content tends to be very analytically focused. Always trying to level up and improve what we're doing. In a former life, I have a graduate degree and undergraduate degree in mathematics and spent time teaching at both the high school and college level. You're someone that enjoys that analytical approach to games, you'll enjoy what I do here. Nigos, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. That's super generous. Morning, good morning. Leading on the Froakie as opposed to the Articuno is an interesting choice here. We have our full Machampion line, but we unfortunately don't have first energy advantage. Aerodactyl locking them out of evolutions here would be really good. With that hit on the Pokeball, do I just build up the Machop on the bench? I think so, yeah. I think it's this. Ninja goes down in 1 to Machampion, so I think we're in an okay spot here. I think Vaporeon will stay viable. Well, for what it's worth, our early results out of tournaments say that the Vaporeon builds of Gyarados are only okay or maybe even middling. The best performing Gyarados builds are the Greninja Dirtle Dragon ones. Not gonna be using that one, gamers. Herolith, thank you for the 23 months. We're gonna be in trouble to this Starmie. Oh, wait, but they didn't build it up. Oh, well, that seems good for me. Them choosing to invest in Articuno against our Machamp deck seems like a mistake. They should definitely be prioritizing their deal 90 as opposed to deal 80s. I don't know that the Gyarados decks can fix their Zebstrika problem, if I'm being honest. Or they could just fix their poor energy allocation with a Misty. Yep. Need my potion. Buys us a turn to draw potion here, technically. This also sets us up, so if I draw Aerodactyl, I can put Old Amber up and then Aerodactyl hit this, and then maybe clean with this after. Is there anything more peak Twitch chat than someone suggesting I cut one of the utility cards in my hand for a different utility card that wins me the game in the spot I'm currently playing? I don't think so. Yeah, looks like we're done here. What decks did you play in Magic you come up as a blue player? Is that your way of saying you think I'm an asshole? Because you'd be right, I am an asshole, but not typically blue decks, no. Small creature tempo decks were my preferred decks of choice in Magic the Gathering. If I played blue, it was stuff like Spell Stutter Sprite and Mana Leak, not hard counter spell. If I played not blue, what would we play? We play like Death and Taxes or like Thoughtseize, that type of stuff. Yeah, sometimes the small creature tempo decks were blue, but it wasn't creature tempo more than blue tempo, is what I would say is my preferred archetype of choice, and which exact deck I was playing depended on what was good in the format. No, I never played Yu-Gi-Oh! Too many words on the cards. One of these days, we're gonna get to go second. It's gonna be great. The Marshadow deck 100% feels like a tempo deck. Agree. That's one of the reasons why I love the Marshadow deck I posted today. Big tempo deck vibes. Yeah, that seems completely unnecessary, Mo. They acknowledge that your comment was reasonable. I'm not sure where, the misclick or something. Sunpie, thank you for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Were they a non-Celebi Snivy deck? Or superior deck? Same difference? Let's live a turn here, hopefully. We'll get to Leaf it out. Leaf is such a big upgrade from a champ. Feels real good. Poor Bug, thank you for the Baker's Dozen. Welcome back. Shiny Nice Shark, thanks for the 12 months. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Welcome back. No, they're just Celebi with a bunch of Pokemon. Fair. This doesn't get anything, but I want to burn it out of my deck in case they red Cardos. This lets them know we're out of basics. Played a lot of Weezing Scolipede. A little bit. It's fine. If we get one punch in here, Machoke or Hitmonlee could finish on the back of the Sabrina. If they don't have an Erica, Hitmonlee here cleans out the Celebi, which is nice. Only 5 cards left in their deck, but they've got like Delmise and Egg in here on top of everything else, so something's got to give to fit all these cards in, right? Yeah, I assume they're retreating here, but they still need the Erica. Yeah, I think Hitmonlee's a genuinely good card. Like, obviously it explicitly punishes Gyarados, but spots like this kind of highlight why Hitmonlee is good, right? Like, they need the Erica to not just be dead because they took this hit. Did they just long tank and they have Potion and Erica? Do you have another one, or are we just wasting my time here? At least I can pedal while they waste our time. They're upset, chat. The YouTuber told them their Celebi deck was busted, new best deck in the format, and now they've lost to a champion slop. Imagine losing to a deck as bad as Machamp while playing the deck you were clickbaited into playing. Couldn't be my opponent. For the 2 points. Alright, I'm gonna put the one Giovanni in. I'm gonna bow to Twitch chat. Ship the Twitch chat. The second Sabrina is less good when we cut the second Hitmonlee anyways. We originally had 2 Sabrinas, we had to build with 2 Hitmonlees. Trippity Misty as a card design. I think Misty is up there for one of the worst design cards in Pokemon Pocket. I think it's a card that restricts future design space by a lot, and it's an effect that feels bad to play against regardless of whether or not it's too strong. The data that we have implies that it's a fine power level, but I think the play patterns that it generates are pretty rancid. Oh my gosh, are we gonna have Aerodactyl to lock them out of Starmie? Is this it? Is this the game the Legends foretold of? I think it's the game the Legends foretold of. Again, this says your active Pokemon can't evolve. We could die to Misty Heads plus retreat back to this other Starmie, but I don't have the tools to play around that, so. So I think them leaving this up is a mistake here. So what I'm gonna do now is, I'm gonna put an energy on here, and then I'm gonna Giovanni and take a knockout point on this, and then if they put the Starmie up to clear my Machop, my Aerodactyl hits this for 80. Hey, Hillian, thanks for watching. I'm glad you enjoyed the YouTube stuff. I actually don't think Misty flipping only 1 coin really matters. I think, especially when you're going second, a single Misty Heads is often enough to heavily skew a game in your favor or not. So, like, yeah, it would prevent the, like, super feel-bad hide rolls, but I think from a core, like, game balance perspective, Misty flipping less coins doesn't really matter in terms of, like, overall power level. I'm sure they're gonna flip 3 here, and then I'm gonna feel bad, but, like, 1 versus more often doesn't matter that much. Yeah, one energy is a ton in this game. All right, Aerodactyl, I'm gonna need you to win this game so I can post it on YouTube. You looked really good here, bud. I need you to crush. What do you think about the advantage of going second? I think the advantage the player going second has in Pokemon Pocket right now is a card pool issue, not a core system design issue. We need a brick on this Misty. If they hit a second Misty Heads here, we're probably torched. Because they'll have an 80 and an 80 instead of a 40 and an 80. Yeah, we're dead, unfortunately. Sad. So sweet game for Aerodactyl, and then Misty flipped like she does. And again, this is one of those ones, 1 versus 8 is actually irrelevant here, yeah? Like, it literally doesn't matter. Like, one, like, that's kind of the exact what we were talking about earlier. Misty hitting 1's heads there and Misty hitting 8 was literally the exact same in terms of winning the game. Sorry, to finish the thought on going first versus going second. This game, from a design perspective, I hope will have more cards like Exeggutor EX and base set Weezing that reward players for going first. It is definitely true that most of the good decks in Pokemon Pocket right now prefer to go second, but that's because a lot of the card designs prefer to go second. Yeah, Whirliapede enjoys going first too. It's a good one. Would Brock create the same issues as Misty if the cards he cared about were better? Maybe? Probably not. Like, Misty restricts design space on water Pokemon in general. Brock restricts design space on 3 named Pokemon. They're not really comparable. I think this deck with Marowak EX instead of Aerodactyl is probably fine. You'll just be at the mercy of flipping coins, though. Good luck, Godspeed. One of the upsides to having Aerodactyl being your secondary attacker in this deck as opposed to Marowak is you get to open on Machamp more frequently and still have 5 basics in your deck, if that makes sense. Because you're never going to open on a Fossil. You're going to open on Hitmonlee or Machop every time. And you're 66% to open on Machop. So the fossils kind of let you have the thing you want to have to open on more regularly. While still giving you more basics to play around certain things. Where are my fossils at, gamers? Hopefully they high roll and knock out the Hitmonlee this turn so Machamp can put baby in a quarter. Although I suppose they could have Sabrina here and then they could put our baby in a quarter. Please don't Sabrina me. No! Baby's so young! Mercy, Celebi, mercy! So unfortunate we did not have another basic Pokemon here. And we're done. I think discussing potential changes to Missy is a pointless waste of time. I do not think they are going to rebalance any cards in Pokemon Pocket. I think they would have to have some type of really heinous balance issue for that to be something they'd consider they'd do. And this first couple of sets seem really reasonably balanced. I don't expect balance changes to happen. I think they would have to have a really big issue to consider doing that. I also agree, I think there's a chance they would consider banning things before rebalancing just because Pokemon seems like a more boomer type company. Do you think 2+ energy decks are too inconsistent to be very good today? Yeah, probably. There's a handful that are like okay, but they're really only okay. Alright, time to make like a tree and leaf here, Machop. We've got a Magikarp to kick. I think discussing the first to 4 points is mostly pointless. They would not want to do that. I also think the games are explicitly designed to be short for a reason, and they really wouldn't change it for that reason. If they don't have Gyarados here, then playing on a bench Pokemon means I can Sabrina and kick this Carp. I mean, honestly, I think I'm still Sabrina and kicking the carp, yeah. Well, kicking the big carp. Just want to put pressure on this. Yes, I think that comment from Frank is way more likely. They would be more likely to create a card that like directly counters what Misty is doing rather than reworking the card. Much more likely case scenario. Feeling like we're in a pretty good spot here, yeah? They bricked on their cheese card. They've got Machampion building up. Machamp notably survives a hit from Gyarados. And if we tap the Gyarados one more time, we clear in one on the backswing. Hitmonlee kind of softening things up for Machamp to swoop in. Feels good. I think suggesting the first person should get to play an energy, but not draw, literally just changes the dynamic to going first being better than going second. Again, I don't think going first versus going second is a rule system design issue. It's more of a current card pool issue. You have a favorite archetype in Pocket, like Bounce and Stab. I really like the single knockout point Pokemon that lets you switch your Pokemon around a bunch for advantages. Speaking of advantages, I'm going to go ahead and keep the energy on this, and then they're just dead when the Machamp clears them here. Hitmonlee getting to show why it crushes Gyarados there. You'd also end up with more turn 1 wins that way, that's true. So it creates other problems. Hitmonlee mirror match. Hey, Jordan. Thanks for the 14 months. Welcome back. I did watch the Witcher 4 trailer. Game looks hype. Witcher 3 is one of the few games I've played through in its entirety more than one time. I like that series a lot. Old Amber is a great draw here. It lets me tee up Aerodactyl EX to clear out the Hitmonlee next turn. I haven't looked at social media response, but I have to assume the incels are very unhappy with Siri being the lead character in the trailer, so that also makes me happy. People being mad about Ciri being the main character in Witcher 4 really shows that people who get upset about forced diversity and conclusion really just hate women and non-white men. Because Witcher 3 ended in a way that's perfect to set up Witcher Ciri being the main character in the next game. So those complaints are never actually about forced diversity and are always about those people being hostile towards anyone who's not a straight white dude. I'm evolving. I'm professoring. Rushing in the literal sense. The Golem deck being a real thing makes me happy. Well, despite the YouTube content mill hyping this Golem deck really hard, its early stats do not look particularly promising in terms of performance, just so we're clear. It won one tournament, but the couple of tournaments that have happened since then, it has not had stellar performances in. It just flops around and dies a lot like we saw here. Maybe that'll change over the weekend, but I would not be surprised if, like, just, okay, so, and again, I want to emphasize here that the sample size is small, but it's a bigger sample than the one tournament. So this was an almost 200 player tournament that happened after that Golem deck won. Let me move myself here. It had 11 people play it, and those 11 people collectively had a 38% win rate with the deck. The deck's not bad, it's just hard to play, Hogland. You don't understand. The people playing the deck, their brains are really small, and my brain's really big, so when I play the Golem deck, it's really good. Alright, we're gonna take a brief pause for the cause and run some adverts to pay some bills. I'm kind of vibing on this Machamp deck. We're gonna play it for at least one more session when we get back. Thanks for hanging out, don't go anywhere. It's always amusing to me how people will acknowledge the reality that a good player with a good deck can experience variance and not get a good result. But the inverse never gets acknowledged. The idea that a good player can carry a bad deck with good variance. People put way too much weight on single results, and it's one of the reasons why when I do my meta roundups, I very explicitly don't just look at top cuts, I look at 70+% win rates, etc. Oh, Limitless has some summary stuff. Yeah, I don't know about that. The exact win rates on here too can be scuffed a little bit because of like drops and stuff. So like this is low even if you pull some drops out. It's definitely not a tier 1 deck, but it's well positioned at though. Can you explain to me why it's well positioned? This isn't your morning stand-up where we need to talk about hitting KPIs and remaining agile. Don't just throw a buzzword at me. Can you articulate what in particular about the Golem deck makes assembling a 4-card combo on curve well positioned? We think the Golem deck's good against Pikachu? See, I would kind of be surprised if the 4-card combo deck is good against the fast aggro deck. Like, I get that it has Drudagon. I get that, like, sometimes you have 2 Drudagon lines, and, like, then that's fine and you get set up. But, like, when you think about it, the Golem is a 4-card combo, right? You need your stage 2 evolution and a Brock to attack on curve. Yeah, if anything, I wouldn't be surprised if this deck's initial success was largely based on Hitmonlee and Marshadow being strong, because that Hitmonlee Marshadow deck I posted this morning without Golem, those are the parts that feel real good in it. And I wouldn't be surprised if this deck, like, obviously Golem did stuff in some of it, but I think the supporting cast there is real good and people are overselling Golem. I'll bet there is more than one YouTube video talking about Golem being a new best deck approaching 6 figures or 50,000 plus views at a minimum right now. And that's why it's being hyped, because people are making money from hyping it. monetary incentives. Can't blame them. See, I would go so far as to say you can blame people for lying to make money. But I don't know, maybe that's a radical stance in 2024. When people are like, you can't blame them, they're just making money. Well, you know. What's going on, toddler girl? Here, I'm gonna get off of the bike, because it's hard for you to hang out while I'm on the bike. Yes, Haley girl.
I can go here because
Yeah, you're hanging out with brothers. That's okay. Mommy just ran to the store for a minute. Do you need something?
but now I'm now.
Oh, now you want to go to the store? Oh. Haley had the option to go to the store, chat, and she decided not to. And now we've changed our mind. How about you come sit? Yeah, come with Daddy for a minute. Mommy will be back in a little bit, okay? You can hang out with brothers. Oh, she's not gonna forget your apples. She wrote them down, okay? She won't forget your apples or your bananas.
Oops, I forgot to say yogurt.
Oh, you forgot to say yogurt? I promise you, Mommy knows you're a yogurt fiend.
I hope she's the
She will definitely get your yogurt, baby girl. Ask your brother to put you back to the menu, okay? They know how.
Yeah.
Nope, Daddy's not doing it.
You know.
Your brothers are plenty capable. The bottom lip. She knows how to work the TV, but not how to get to the main Netflix menu. We're gonna have to work on that, huh? I think I'm giving up the Hitmonlee knockout point
I
here.
want you to teach me how to turn it.
You know, I teach you how to do it. I bet your brother can teach you. It's just one button.
No, can you?
I will teach you later.
No, can you teach me? When you're done, can you teach me how to turn it?
When I'm done, yep, I will teach you. But you can have your brother do it for now, okay?
I want to stay with you.
You can stay with me, that's cool.
I want to stay with you until you're done before.
Okay. I bet you get bored before then, because I've met you.
No, I'm not.
No, you're not?
Yeah. Hey, Daddy.
Yes, Haley.
Dirty boy.
It is a Mew! Haley has many Mew stuffies. We have a baby Mew and a big Mew stuffy.
Who got your Mew? Why do they got Mew but we don't?
Because we're playing a fighting deck and they're playing a Mew deck.
Ew, I thought we were.
I don't think I can afford to Sabrina here and take the knockout because they got that first point. I think because if I Sabrina and knock out the Pidgey, their genome hacking is gonna clear my arrow. Oh yeah.
Dada.
Haley.
Dada.
Haley.
Dada.
Haley.
Dada.
Haley.
Dada.
Haley.
Dada.
Haley.
Dada.
Haley. Haley.
Dada.
Haley. Haley.
Dada.
Haley. Haley.
Dada.
Yes. I love you too.
I want to stay with you.
You can stay right there. You're good.
Can we
Get my arm exercises in.
lower your desk?
Lower my desk. Oh, you want to sit in the chair? Okay.
On your left.
Okay. Here, watch your nose.
I'm a beautiful one, isn't it? Right, so that's
That's how far it goes.
I'm gonna push it now for
How are you doing, oldest son?
Wait,
Great.
Daddy, can I
Aerodactyl.
push you off?
I don't understand. I mean,
Daddy,
Pterodactyl's
Daddy.
ability is
I
like
know,
okay in
push.
my opinion, but
I think it's gonna be pretty good here. We're gonna get to pull this Pidgeotto back up and then stop it from evolving potentially.
Oh. Pushity push.
It is noteworthy the fact that they're playing the new Pidgeotto saves them from getting KO'd by Land Crush here.
KO'd. KO'd. KO'd.
All right, Haley and Jacob, I need you both to go upstairs. Jacob, please help Haley put her show on.
Okay.
Oh, you.
Boy.
Haley, I need you to be a listener, please, and go with Jacob.
Why? I want you.
I need you to be a listener and go with Jacob, please. You can stay here, but you have to be quiet if you stay here, okay?
Oh.
I know, being quiet's tough. It's a scuffed life. Do
What they
I think I retreat and take the knockout with the Machop here, yeah? Because if I clear this with the Aerodactyl, the Mew's gonna clear the Aerodactyl. Whereas if the Aerodactyl gets the first hit on the Mew, we win that fight. I love you, but if you want to hang out, you have to be quiet, okay? That includes la la la's, please. The Machop gets cleared in 2 by the Mew here, but that doesn't really matter because they already have 1 knockout point, so taking a second doesn't matter much when we're finishing on an EX. Put an energy here. Give him the old Knuckle Buster.
Knuckle. Knuckle, knuckle, knuckle. Knuckle, knuckle, knuckle. Knuckle, knuckle, knuckle. Knuckle, knuckle, knuckle.
Yep. These aren't my knuckles. These are my fingers. These are my knuckles.
No, you're a knuckle.
Oh, I'm a knuckle. I got it. Okay.
No, your fingers are knuckles. You have knuckles.
How the game's been today? Really good.
They do everything.
If you're interested in the Marshadow tournament deck I've been talking about today, be sure to check out the Glandia Pocket channel. My tournament run was posted up there. I don't see how they get out of this game by waiting around. We can find him a choke, especially.
Would coconuts eat people?
Yeah, they just know armachokes are buried deep underground.
Talking coconuts want to eat pizza.
Talking coconuts want to eat pizza.
They want to eat everybody's pizza that they get. And they want to get pizza every day. But 1 time a day.
I think we could do pizza. We're gonna do tacos for dinner tonight, though.
Tacos. Do you have any tacos? I forgot to ask Mommy for tacos today.
We're gonna go eat tacos with Chloe and friends
Where?
at a restaurant.
Oh.
Yep.
But we gonna go to a movie?
We're gonna go to a movie too. Yep. You want popcorn at the movie? So this into Leaf, the Machop out, crack them with the Aerodactyl. Sonic 3 release, so we're gonna go see that with all the kids tonight. Another set of family friends. 'Cause this Mew is not quite ready to genome hacking yet. Aerodactyl getting to flex here a little bit, being a very reasonable 80 for 2 attacker while Machamp is taking a day off. You want to what? Attack me? Pretty sure that's what you've been doing this whole time.
Attack yourself. Attack yourself, Daddy.
Are you interested in playing the League of Legends card game Riot has coming out? Maybe if they make a digital version. But I assume after Runeterra failed spectacularly, they won't do that. I don't really have room in my life for paper card games. You gotta get 3 points to win the game. So I have 1 point, and my opponent has 1 point.
I want you to get 3 points.
Oh, you want me to get 3 points? We're trying.
But if you win, I want you to play again.
Oh, okay. I think we're gonna win, Haley. Things are looking good for Team Aerodactyl.
Daddy, you got 2 Team Aerodactyl.
I do.
That's so cool.
It's a dinosaur Pokemon. Haley likes dinosaurs.
Dinosaur? I will be on that side.
All right, then Giovanni means we get to clear them out here. We finally found the Machoke. We get to retreat the Aerodactyl back. We get to clean them in one.
Hey, Daddy.
Yeah, they bought a lot of time with these Mews, but it's time to put them in a trash can.
So much, Daddy.
Yep.
We won.
We did win.
Play again.
We are gonna play again.
Yay! Are you gonna play 1 more time or 2 more times?
Dad's gonna be playing for a little while. If you want to go watch your show, you should have brother help you, okay?
No. What you? What you think? I love that dinosaur Pokemon.
You like the dinosaur Pokemon? Its name is Aerodactyl.
L?
Kind of like a pterodactyl.
Like in my new dinosaurs. Wow.
Yep. They definitely didn't shuffle correctly, but it probably didn't matter since you found Machoke. I mean, with the second Aerodactyl, I think that didn't matter either. Hey, child. We've had to go first in basically every one of these games. Machamp is so... We've been winning despite having to go first, but Machamp is definitely stronger going second.
Daddy.
Yes, Haley girl.
Whoa, I wonder who will win again.
Let's fish up this Hitmonlee.
Daddy, the guy that's playing and you don't got any points.
No points yet, brand new game. So I think the game plan here is power up Machop on the bench and then leaf out.
Brand new game. Brand new game.
The real question is, does my opponent have their 4-card combo while going second?
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it.
Why brand new game?
With them doing nothing... Oh, I guess if I knock out the Geodude... I guess if I knock out the Geodude, they get to clear Machoke with Marshadow. So we won't be able to clear the Geodude next turn. We'll need to play a turn behind.
Daddy is a gaga. Daddy, you're a gaga.
I'm a Gaga. What does that mean?
Gagas mean that you're a Pokemon.
Oh, I'm a Pokemon?
Gaga. Pokemon. What? You both got the same amount. The same kind of one.
Alright, do they have Brock?
Daddy, why did you both got the same amount?
They do have Brock.
They do. You both got the same kind of paw print. Daddy, you both got the same kind of paw print.
I think I'm going to try and soften up this Golem with Hitmonlee, is the plan. I don't want to knock this out and then let them put up either of these. I think we're dead now. They had Leaf plus everything. Their 4-card combo is definitely better than our 3-card combo. And they had first energy advantage. If we'd have had first energy advantage, we might have been okay.
Daddy, but the dinosaur one day.
We can't play the dinosaur, unfortunately, baby girl. Yep.
It's just a
Yeah. I could clear this and get my first point, but then the Marshadow clears us.
that you just get to look at.
Okay, Danny's gonna run an advert and go send the toddler upstairs.
Ah,
Let's go get your show set up. We're gonna play a different deck when we get back. Yeah, I got a good range on this one. Alright, I'll throw this deck list up on screen for people who want it.
Daddy.
We're gonna play something else when we get back.
Daddy.
Hello.
I'm hungry.
You're hungry? I'll get you a snack too.
Yeah.
Alright, catch you in 2 minutes. Hear me. Alright, let's roll, toddler. Everyone's playing the Golem deck right now. It is the new hot clickbait. Ah, label us off from Cope. I like that. I like this shell. The Champ and Arrow are both underappreciated, but Champ especially is solid. So this deck list, placed in one of the tournaments over the weekend as well. It's playing only 2 Mew and 2 Celebi as its only basics. And then 16 trainers. Curious to see how it's going to feel for us. I've got Psychic Energy in here as well because Celebi attacks with a colorless. We're probably dead to Gyarados, honestly. Clears everything in this deck in one go. Merry Christmas, Oratog. Thank you for the 78 months. 6.5 years is a long time. Would you mind telling us how many wins you have? 900 something, I think. I'll give this a couple tries, but I would bet this deck's Gyarados matchup is unwinnable, which probably means it's not worth playing. The tournament it spiked was before Gyarados broke out. Celebi in general just never beats that. How do you check away? Is it battle record? Yeah, 965. Check my Wonder Pick while we're out here. Someday a 2-star will show up for me to miss, yes? Never once. Grass decks, I could probably lead Celebi and not feel bad about it. They're probably not attacking me. Against a color that would be more likely to be aggressive, we probably want to lead the Mew and then X-speed it out, but I guess our Celebi deck will just start attacking on 2. It's gonna crack the code for a good Celebi deck, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if there's not a code to crack. At least in a tournament setting. Very realistic that this archetype's just gonna be incredibly high variance in perpetuity. Which is a shame, because I actually opened 3 of this full art. Like all the full arts in this game, it's a quality piece of artwork. Well, one good doublehead deserves another, I suppose. Can I draw an Erica? Sure can't. Honestly, this will probably be the only other game we play with this deck. It's just so boring. Yeah, Celebi with Venusaur could be interesting. I think the EX Exeggutor Venusaur deck is a deck that have been wanting a good 5th basic, and both Mew and Celebi could be good there. Although, honestly, there's probably a chance that Mew's better. If I'm being honest. How many total cards do you have in your collection? Like 8,500. Honestly, I kind of want to work on that. Oh wait, why don't we do that? Let's try Venusaur with Mew. Mew might be better, but I would want more Erica synergy. I don't think the Venusaur Exeggutor deck is short on Erica targets. I think a second potion is a good option instead of the leaf. No, I think that deck really wants to be able to retreat its stuff whenever possible. Actually, I actually started with 2 potions and ended up cutting 1 for the leaf and was happy with it. Where's the... I was like, I knew this button existed. Is there a full art Venusaur? There's a full art Venusaur and full art, When's the next pocket set release? End of January. Do I not have any full art Venusaurs? That's kind of wild. Isn't there a full art EX Venusaur? The promo pack Venusaur. Yeah, there's a 2-star one. That's what I thought. I'm surprised they don't have it. Haven't played a lot with the card, obviously. It's fine. We're missing full art Ericas too. It'll just be a pleb deck. Gosh, Leaf probably makes this deck better too, right? Because you could actually retreat Ivysaur. Double Leaf Angle. No, on an X speed too. This is a deck that never wants to lead on Bulba. Could be a 3x speed angle. I don't think you play Budding Expeditioner without 2 copies of me most of the time. I'm playing with only one's a little suspect. Yeah, last slot on potion sounds okay too, honestly. Just having lots of healing can make put you in a lot of states that's unwinnable for the opponent. This deck always really wanted a 5th basic, and just none of the basics you could play, you really wanted to play. You kind of want all your Pokemon to be EXs, so that way they have to knock out 2 EXs to win the game. No, you do not want to play. One, Venusaur doesn't really have a high attack cost. 4 is not that much. By the time you assemble your stage 2, you're gonna have it. 2, playing 2 stage 2s in the same deck is really bad. Neither of those are the Exeggutor I wanted for Christmas. Hey, Immortal, thank you for the 80-month resubscription. That is an eternity. Welcome back. Using the new Exeggutor takes way too much energy. And again, one of the structures of this deck is you want to force your opponent to knock out 2 different higher HP EX Pokemon. You don't want to give them a random knockout on a 1-point Pokemon. Click a tree and get out of here. Even if they have Starmie on curve, we could potentially get to Venusaur before attacking it. People ran Baby Mewtwo and Mewtwo decks because sometimes your opponent knocks out your Krylia or your Gardevoir, and you just needed more basic Pokemon. Every good deck last season optimized to playing 2+ basic Pokemon. Or sorry, 5+ basic Pokemon. It's one of the reasons why we're talking about this deck and really wanting to be able to play another basic. Playing more basic Pokemon is good. Super dead to a Gyarados. Suppose there's a world where they discard their energy instead of mine, and we find a Leaf and a Venusaur in 2 draws. Leaf in 6 cards. Sure that's gonna be enough though, yeah? Hey, hit any of my energies, it's immediately over, even if I draw the Leaf. That's really needed to be able to start Exeggutor against their aggressive deck, so you could put pressure on them while we built up the Venusaur. First is good for us if we have eggs. Leading on Bulbasaur every game is reminding me why I didn't like playing this deck previously. Holy, it's so rancid. Howdy, Vale. Right? We're saying there's a chance. Oh, Bruxish Greninja with Weezing. It's a name I haven't heard in a while. I would be very surprised if they ever added specific tutors to this game. I think any other cards that search up cards from your deck are going to be templated like Pokeball, where they grab one at random that meets a certain condition. You ever play one Bulbasaur and two Mews? I think playing less basics of the evolution line you actually want to hit is a big mistake. And it's confusing to me that people keep doing and suggesting that. I don't want to play the other Exeggutor out. We're just like plant monster double Erica at this point. Hope you can never win the game, which is probably realistic. The opponent's deck never deals any real amounts of damage. This matchup's basically impossible for them if we get our monster online. So we're taking 20 per turn cycle, but Giant Bloom is healing 30. And if they're on the typical Greninja Bruxish deck, this is their heaviest hitter, which gets to do one crack for 70 before we clear it out. Daddy Plant Dino, is that enough of your stuff? It's gonna bring the pain. And honestly, we're kind of at a point where I don't ever want to evolve the Execute, because my lose condition is that, like, Sabrina that up and I get stuck. And they only have one knockout point, so long as I leave that as a regular basic, they can't do that. Yeah, and buy a little time with Koga here, but with double Erica, they're not really going anywhere fast. I'm gonna play the potion proactively, so yeah, with the Leafs, even if I evolved and they got it stuck, it really wouldn't be stuck. The Marshadow deck's been completely nutty. I love how it has so many lines. It's so many decision trees. It's easily the least linear Pokemon Pocket deck I've ever played. Lots of big brain, feel smart energy. Fishy, 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 fishy. Fishy, fishy, fishy. Oh no, not 70 damages. How will I ever win the game now? They can, like, put the Weezing up and tackle us here, but with the second Erica, the writing is firmly on the wall, even with the Kogastalls. They need, like, they have the Weezings, they need to hit, like, Frogadier this turn into Greninja the next turn, and then maybe they have enough. Actually, with the copies of Leaf in hand, do I shuffle the Exeggutor up just to get out from under poison? Is that crazy? Call me baby. Because they still can't leave the Weezing up, because the Giant Bloom's gonna clear it. I need, like, second Frogadier here, evolve Greninja this turn. They did hit water, so they can put the Greninja up and hit me after they Koga. Yes, the Mew full art is definitely a sneaky grass Pokemon. Oh my goodness, does this double X speed retreat the Weezing? Holy. Oh, sometimes it do be like that, yo. Alright, Exeggutor, time to make like a tree and leaf. There's no water energy on top of their energy zone here either, so they can't even have second Greninja and retreat to an attack. Why not put Mew down to tank a Sabrina? I mean, if they kill the other Exeggutor, it doesn't really matter. But opponent is out here fighting for their life, chat. They are hoping and a praying. My last Erica is buried in the bottom here, and it is not. I think people would still be excited to run Celebi if it said this attack does 25 damage for each energy attached to this Pokemon. I think that effect is a lot better than flipping coins. How is Venusaur any particular deck you're hoping to counter with it? Not really. Just think this deck's always been kind of okay, and playing Mew EX both solves the problem that you didn't have enough basics before and you had a bad, like, Charizard matchup. It's also an extra card that randomly hoses Mewtwo for you. I was gonna say, kind of hoping to draw an egg here on one. Using the leaf now is worse against a Tempo Sabrina, but it's much better if I draw research next turn, so I'm gonna go ahead and get it out of the way. Downside to it not being an X speed in this instance. No Tempo Sabrina in sight. Lovely. Alright, you dopey-headed lad. Of your finest coin flips, please. Lovely. And just like that, our opponent is scrambled. There's so many games where this 50%er kind of just ends the game on the spot. You can tell Pocket's reaching a lot of people that don't have any tournament experience. There's been a number of comments asking how my tournament run could be undefeated if I lost a game. Hopefully help folks understand how those things work a little bit better. EX Exeggutor is such a good card. It feels like it'll be relevant for a long time. Yeah, I think they would have to power creep this game an immense amount for this to not be one of the best grass leads you can play. Ah, dead. See this right here, chat? This is why Reddit absolutely hates Celebi. They've never met a Celebi deck they enjoyed. Our opponent flipped 3 heads out of 4 coins one time. They lost their ever-loving minds. Oh, I guess this makes me weak to Sabrina. Alright, they low roll and we high roll. Easy game. Celebi would be tier 1 if it always worked like this. This deck we're playing is probably fine, but I gotta be honest, it's a little mind-numbing. We're gonna go ahead and take a pause for the cause and roll some ads, and I think we're gonna try something else when we return. Thanks everybody for hanging out, don't go anywhere. Need something a little more interesting in my life. Play some Shadow. I have this Wiggly deck I wanted to try. I guess this is kind of similar to the last one, though. Wiggly's just a little faster than Venu. Yeah, this is probably very similar to the last one, honestly. Should we play some duck? We're up the dam playing some duck. It's a fun duck. Got a lot going on. I thought about loading up the Gyarados Butterfree deck, but really it's just like every other Gyarados deck with like an adorable gimmick. Oh, it's Arcanine Mew deck. I like the Arcanine Mew deck a lot. It's got a little bit of a scuffed matchup into Gyarados, but I like it against the rest of the field. Yeah, if you haven't seen this one, I 6-0'd a tournament with this yesterday. The tournament highlights up on the YouTube side now. You'll be able to check out over an hour's worth of sweet best-of-3 matches with it. And we can play it a little bit here to end the day, I think, as well. A lot of sweet stuff going on. Feels good to be quacking people again. How do you full screen your pocket? Using OBS Magic. The Pokemon Pocket I'm looking at while I play looks the same as everybody else's. I just use my streaming software to make it so it's a little bit bigger for all the folks at home, so your viewing experience is better. Alright, folks, time for some Hitmonlee gaming. This is actually why we have one copy of Leaf in the deck, despite the fact that we have mostly retreat cost 1 Pokemon. You just want to be able to shuffle your starter to the optimal one as often as possible. Anytime they lead on the Dirtle Dragon, you just want to get kicking right away. Revenge does not count if Druddigon kills your Pokemon with Rough Skin. Mew is our best anti-Golem card. Would love to draw that here. Another Marshadow. We'll hold on putting that up. We'll start softening the Geodude here. If they have Golem Brock as their last 2 cards, we're in trouble. But outside of that, we're in a pretty good space. If they Golem Brock me, I'm not... Yeah, I think we just have to hope they don't have their 4-card combo ASAP. I mean, Dreadwalling the Duck doesn't really matter because Hitmonlee just gets to kick him around. And if these aren't Golem Brock, we'll soften this up enough to the point that Marshadow gets to clean it out. And then we're done here. Yeah. Actually just fully cooked. healing. The duck just gets to quack him. Is incel an actual term? Incel stands for involuntarily celibate. Discord threads automatically stop appearing if they don't get used for like 24 or 48 hours, Ben. If you look, you can look it up and post in there and it'll pop back up again. What's your favorite and least favorite thing about the meta currently? I mean, Misty sucks to play against. That's a perpetually true thing. I like most of what else is going on. I think our opponent might be bitter that their next best deck, they got told by 6 different people on YouTube, lost to Farfetch'd and Hitmonlee. In my highlight video today, the Gyarados player I beat was like my round 5 matchup, so we were 4-0, and they got real mad in the chat, and they wrote me for part of the game while they were dying to my Hitmonlee with their Gyarados best deck. They were not happy. Yes, they said GG partway through the second game they were losing and then kept playing. And to be fair, they were dead. They were in a position where they couldn't win the game. I mean, to be fair, the Golem deck didn't just win the tournament. When I did my browsing of Pokemon Pocket YouTube this morning to keep up on the trends, there were like no less than like 6 different creators who posted about the Golem deck being some iteration of top tier or best deck or some other, implying it was overpowered nonsense. And for reference, for people who weren't here earlier, so I can tap the sign here. This is the results of the first tournament after the tournament the Golem deck won. Had 11 people play it, and they collectively had a 38% win rate. Yes, there is a reason why when I grab random lists, I say they're tournament proven. Because that's honest and not overselling what's going on. Because it might still be a stinker, but it was proven in a tournament to be maybe have a shot. I don't know. As the best way to articulate why I would be surprised if the Golem deck is good is stage 2 decks are really inconsistent in Pocket, and those are 3-card combos. The Golem deck is basically a 4-card combo. You need your evolutions and a Brock to attack on curve. A lot has to go right for it to be strong. They are water energy, so I'm going to lead on Hitmonlee here in case they're a Magikarp deck. Am I? Maybe I lead on the duck. I'm going to lead on the duck. They might not play a basic out if I play the Hitmonlee. In fact, I'm going to hold the Hitmonlee and lead on the duck. So that way if they're a Magikarp deck, they put it out there. Unironically, one of the reasons there's 1 potion in this deck is so your Farfetch doesn't trade 1-for-1 with Dredagon's Rough Skin. No, there's 8 basic Pokemon in this deck. This is my taking people should play more basics to the extreme. Wait, why is there a fighting energy in their deck? Are they playing the Golem deck, but didn't cut... I think they're playing the Golem deck, but didn't cut, the extra energies from Drudagon. Is what's happening here. So with that in mind, I expect there's fire energy in their deck as well. I'm gonna start kicking the Drudagon in the back. It is very easy to accidentally have extra energy types in your deck, yeah. I would tell you you can play this deck without the Mew reasonably. You can play this deck without the Tauros reasonably. I would not play this deck without 2 Marshadow. What can you swap for the Tauros? Either a Hitmonchan or another Mew EX is probably fine. Hitmonchan's like a third copy of Farfetch'd if you squint. Yeah, people talking about Rough Skin and Hitmonlee. If this Pokemon is in your active spot and damaged by an attack, do 20 damage to the attacking Pokemon. So it is not in the active spot. Oh! No, I think they're just intending to be... No, I don't think they made a mistake, chat. I think, I was speculating they were the Golem deck with the wrong energy, but I think they're just a Drudagon Marshadow deck. Yeah. I mean, this card attacks with a colorless. That seems fine. 3 colors. 3 colors is definitely ambitious. No, wait. Never mind. JK, LOL. No. Back to the first thing. Geodude means they done messed up. Had us in the first half, not gonna lie. Yep. Maybe they're playing Old Golem that only uses fighting energy. Maybe. With Mew and Marshadow teed up here, this game should be done. It's garbage time. You don't have to go home, but you can't play here. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Having a Tenagek with the 3-color Pidgeot deck you featured recently. Yeah, I think Pidgeot's a fine back end for Drudagon. Truly, genuinely, I think you could put Drudagon, Mew, and then any stage 2 in a deck and probably find some success. Depending on which stage 2 you play will dictate if the Drudagon's can attack, though. If you look way back on my Hoaglandia Pocket side, we did a Wheezing Old Golem deck at one point. One of the things about trying to brew a front line for this card is you need to brew 1 knockout point front lines because you don't want to give up an EX knockout and then have them clear the Golem and win the game. No. Yeah, they're just the stock deck that has the wrong energy in it. Well, I mean, technically. I guess we'll spread this out here. Could Mew just sweep at this point? Yeah, I guess that's true, huh? I'm only half paying attention. We could go ahead and do that. My vigorous typing there was responding to someone letting me know that pointing out people lie with clickbait is more problematic than people lying. Which is just peak 2024 energy. The actual problematic thing isn't the problematic behavior, it's the people calling out the problematic behavior. They were upset with the intro to the meta report video. Which I thought was pretty harmless ribbing, but someone that's gonna get upset by that is not a good culture fit for anything that I do. They could take a KO with a Brock here. Yeah, I suppose they could. They use both Brocks, maybe? Probably. Opponent would have won if they only had fighting energy. That's not remotely true, Breeder. With my Mew charged up on the bench, they would have lost that game. I would have played it differently, and we wouldn't have put up the Mew to clear the Durnagon. We would have softened up the Golems, and the Mew and the what's it called would have finished them off. Initiating the Jeff to Jeff money transfer. Thanks for the half a year. Welcome back. Psychic energy. I would love to lead on Farfetch'd. Thank you for asking. This opener is absolutely quacked against Mewtwo. Alright, so ideally this last bench slot's gonna be a Mew EX. Tauros could also be your candidate. Just gonna go ahead and get Quackin' to start here. Release the Quackin'! If they brick on the Corellia this turn, it could be appealing to X speed to the Hitmonlee and beat the Ralts up. I haven't watched in a couple of months. You look great, Jeff. Congrats. Thanks. Yeah, I'm down a little over 50 pounds this year. Went from 225 to around 170. Now with the Mew draw, I think I don't need to worry about the Gardevoir. I think we just power this up. Want to get this to 2 energy so it can threaten a use ASAP. Two Giovanni's in our deck. Ready to clear the Mew here, potentially, with the top deck. They are... Putting the second energy on the Mew is just too good to pass up. It means that they just literally can never put Mewtwo up. And with the Mew going to 10 life here, they need Budding Expeditioner or Double Potion to not have it get cleared by the Hitmonlee. So with the Mew EX set up on our bench, this game's probably over at this point. I'm struggling to think of a line that allows my opponent to get out of this. Yeah, I think we're in a pretty can't lose position. I beat Mewtwo twice in the run I did with this deck. I think both your Mewtwo, your Pikachu, and your Gyarados matchup with this deck are all very strong. Our Mewtwo's playing blue. A lot of them are starting to adopt 1 copy of blue, but I'm also playing 2 copies of Giovanni, which just like puts that away. I think Mewtwo should be playing blue. It insulates you against opposing Mews a little bit if they're not on Giovanni and it's good in the mirror. Hey, you just gotta keep running a calorie deficit, Demente. Gotta eat less than you burn. Interesting switch. I mean, obviously that switch there puts them to dead right away, but like they did not have lines to win that game. They could have stalled for a long while. Maybe not even a long while. We were gonna KO the Mew and then like kind of take them to town, yeah? What's your weak matchup? Your Celebi matchup's actually only okay. It's the reason why I have a Tauros in here. Maybe your Moltres matchup might be hard. I haven't played against Blaine yet either. How do you keep from being hungry all the time? You're gonna feel hungry. Drinking more water helps, but you're gonna feel hunger running a calorie deficit. Blue hasn't had as much impact I expected. Is that your feelings? Well, I think enough people aren't playing it, yeah. If that's what you mean. I can see this list having a tough time with Eggs, Venusaur too, sure, but that's not a real deck. Even things like Blaine, like the only deck that's remotely like a real deck that sees play that I think is probably a hard time is Celebi. Nothing's gonna line up perfectly into everything, especially when you're looking at more off-meta stuff. Alright, so this is an X speed into kick the Vulpix angle, I think. And then we'll start powering up Marshadow for after they do that. Because I'm not playing another supporter this turn, I'm gonna play the Leaf. Leaf and X speed are almost the same effect. I only have 1 character in this deck that has a retreat cost higher than 1. Do I play the other Hitmonlee out? It plays around Sabrina and lets me save an X speed if they have it. And the other Hitmonlee's probably useful long term anyways. Gives up a little information to play around Sabrina, but I think that's worthwhile. And even if they have, they would have to have new Rapidash plus Flip Heads to get us here. Old Rapidash plus Blaine doesn't do it. So, if they want a flamethrower here, they're going to trade a knockout point and 2 energy for a knockout point and 0 energy, which is tempo negative. It is worth noting their Ninetales deck doesn't need a lot of tempo, so they're probably okay with that exchange, but I'm willing to take it if they're offering, I think. Marshadow is definitely our MVP here. It cleans out so much of their deck in one go. Second one sounds great. Gives us the flexibility to let this one get cleared. So on Ninetales. I think I want to kick the Vulpix. Means they have to have their second copy of Ninetales next turn. I haven't played either research yet, so kind of 1 and 3 to find it here, but if they brick on it, this Hitmonlee clears the Vulpix, and then they're really in can't win, so once they knock out the Hitmonlee, the Marshadow eats them. Things that don't matter for 100. Yeah, now we're 100%. If you are looking for a deck that has no coin flips and a ton of player agency that allows you to feel smart while you play Pokemon Pocket, this deck I am currently playing is the most satisfying deck I've ever played in this game. So many good utility cards, X speeds and Leaf letting you switch around, Giovanni letting you hit surprise breakpoints. I threw this together on a pure theory craft and played 2 games in the queue before registering it in the tournament, and then did the clean sweep. What's the weakness for this deck? Not having enough brain cells to play it properly. The top cut for the tournament actually hasn't played out yet, and I actually can't play the rounds. They start in about an hour, and I had previous plans with the family tonight. We're going to dinner with some friends, and then taking the kids to see the new Sonic movie. You say it's hard to play. It's definitely harder than, like, powering up your Mewtwo. Yeah, maybe Starmie's hard. Starmie without Gyarados, but Starmie without Gyarados just isn't very popular. If you have Hitmonlee and Farfetch first in hand, which do you play to the active? Generally the Farfetched, but it can depend on the matchup. And you can kind of tell what matchup you're more likely to have if they have water energy or not, or like what their lead energy is. So like against water energy, it can be beneficial to lead the Hitmonlee because they're more likely to be a Magikarp deck. If that makes sense. Speaking of family commitments, it looks like it's about 3:30 gamers. Been live for about 5 hours. I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it an afternoon. For the regulars, I try to be here from about 9 or 10 a.m. Central till about 3:30 or 4 p.m. Central every day of the week, depending on what viewer count looks like and what my family obligations are. If you want to see this deck list, I'm not showing it to you now. Go over to the YouTube channel, Hooglandia Pocket. There is a tournament highlight with an hour and 20 minutes worth of high-level gameplay. Really focused commentary, talking through all of my lines. You'll see this deck beat Celebi, you'll see this deck beat Pikachu, you'll see it beat Mewtwo, you'll see it beat Golem. We ran the gauntlet and hit basically every good deck in the format. We ran them down. I think this deck is a great choice too. Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if our blade matchup is great. I think Celebi is probably your hardest of the popular decks. And I think that matchup's still pretty reasonable. There's just got a lot of agency and maneuverability. Everybody, thanks for hanging out. I'll see you later. Hopefully, I will be back tomorrow. I'm gonna do a full normal stream day tomorrow, starting with Pokemon Pocket. Looks like Ursi Day is still streaming. I'm gonna go ahead and raid you over into them. They're one of the people hosting community tournaments every single week, so check them out. I will see you in the morning, hopefully.